I'm Brian, and that's Dez. And every week on PSVR, This Week, we take a look at the new VR games that are coming to the PlayStation Store this week.
We gather up all the trailers we can find, all the descriptions we can plagiarize, and condense them down to this short video for you.
Sometimes we look at delayed games, updates, DLC, or new game announcements.
So without further ado, here's PSVR This Week.
After a few weeks of non-stop, stellar, must-have PlayStation VR releases, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy to get a quick break before the next wave of games is upon us. So even though there are no new PSVR games planned to release this week, there's still quite a bit to talk about, starting with Sony's Days of Play, where those of you who are thinking about upgrading to a PlayStation 4 Pro can now get one for $50 cheaper. And anyone still on the fence about buying a PlayStation VR bundle will now have some seriously inexpensive options to choose from.
Access detected. Auto lockdown activated.
Can't read any of my contacts. Attacks are breaking out everywhere. Chico, please respond.
Sirentoe has had more release dates than I can count, but the newest one doesn't come from either developer Mixed Realms or publisher Perp Games, but instead an online retailer in the UK called Game. Their projected street date is July 5th, and at this point it seems like the most accurate date out there, but hopefully we'll hear an official word soon.
Let's do this.
A bird's peaceful summer slumber is disturbed by the majestic call of the mysterious owl. Enticed to swallow the last piece of the waning moon, bird is blown far from its Golden Gate home, unscramble celestial puzzles and create miniature musical worlds, reawaken shadowy forests and bring life back to the sparkling lakes. Discover hidden creatures, help bird reunite the fragmented moon, and find its way back home. Here at Without Parole, we've been keeping a close eye on Luna as details of its PlayStation 4 and PSVR release were slowly revealed. And now we're excited to announce that it's launching very, very soon. In fact, it's just 2 weeks away, scheduled to launch on June 18th. Even though the PlayStation VR port of Gorn was announced less than a month ago, and the porting process has only just begun, one of the most common questions we get here on the channel is still, does Gorn have an official release date? Since it's not a huge game, we've speculated we could see the port in as little as 4 to 6 months, and the latest word from the developers makes it sound like we're probably on the right track. In a playful response to a poorly worded Twitter message, developers Free Live stated they're hopeful for a 2019 release date, which would certainly make quite a few people happy. Mars Alive is a sci-fi survival PSVR game set in an open world, where you'll face off against severe weather and other challenges as you manage your resources and survive as long as you can. As one of the only survivors on Mars, it's up to you to reveal the truth behind the civilization, which is full of both mystery and conspiracy. Mars Alive recently had a successful Kickstarter campaign, which allowed the developers to finish up work on their long-awaited PlayStation VR game. And this week they announced it'll be launching in all regions later this month. Tella Frag VR is a hellishly fast-paced shooter with visceral movement and combat mechanics. Dash, shoot, and teleport around unique arenas that feature impossible geometry, where there is no right side up and death can come from any direction. Developer Anchar Studios has been teasing this one for a while now, but they recently showed off a bit more gameplay footage of their upcoming competitive shooter and announced a summer 2019 release date. The one thing we'll be keeping a close eye on, though, is that we're living in a post-Firewall and post-Starblood world, where Megalith and Space Junkies felt fairly limited with 2v2 matches. So it'll be extremely interesting to see just how much fun Tella Frag's 1v1 multiplayer will be.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of PSVR This Week. We'll be back next week to tell you about all the VR games coming to the PlayStation Store.
But keep in mind that no one outside of Sony really knows what games are coming when.
But we'll do our best to keep you up to date each and every week on PSVR This Week.